Hello, everybody. Welcome to this virtual presentation session. So I'm going to present on performance of wheat in response to different climate smart practices in Nepal. As you see, here is the map of Nepal showing different research locations. This research was conducted in 3 different locations: Banke in the western Nepal, Rupande in the central Nepal, and Morang in the eastern Nepal. Talking about the Nepal, Nepal has the east-west variability in climatic conditions and weather. And these are the southern belt of Nepal and major wheat growing areas in Nepal. So wheat is the important food crop in Nepal and globally. And there are abnormal changes in temperature, precipitation, and various climatic events that are occurring at the recent times that severely affect the wheat yield. Different scientists and growers have projected that there is 10 to 50% in reduction in the wheat production by the end of the century. And Nepal is one of the vulnerable country in terms of climate change. There are sudden uh, erratic climatic change patterns observed in the country in recent decades. Therefore, the rationale behind this study is that although there are several interventions and practices that have been identified uh, that could potentially ensure crop production, but there is limited research on on integrated approaches of climate smart interventions that is very negligible. We are yet to find which climate smart practices gives better performance. The null hypothesis for this research is that all the climate smart treatments are same with no effect on crop yield, and the alternative hypothesis would be climate smart practices are different and they significantly affect the grain yield. The current research aims to explore an effective package of climate smart practices that can be farmers friendly and can be easily adapted by the growers thriving in vulnerable climates of southern plains in Nepal. This research was conducted in split plot design, 3 different locations as the main plot and climate smart treatments as the subplot. And here is another factor, that is year, which again divides this design into split plot. Uh, Location as the main plot, climate smart treatment as first subplot, and the year is the another subplot, making split plot. Here is the model. So grain yield was the response variable. So from the field, the at the maturity stage of wheat, the grain was harvested from randomly from 3 meter square of area. Those were air dried and then eventually converted into ton per hectare or kg per hectare. So in this model, this y is the response, that is grain yield, mu is the overall mean, this alpha is the fixed effective to location, here is the error term for whole plot, and beta is the subplot, that is climate smart treatment, and alpha and beta, this is the interaction effect of main plot and the subplot, and this delta is the error due to subplot, that is climate smart treatments. We have another factor gamma, that is the subplot, that is year, and total error is given by epsilon eijkl. Okay, now here is the details on climate smart treatments. Here is the generic term given for our 6 treatments. Those are climate smart agriculture high, medium, low, improved high, improved low, and current practice or controlled practice, that is without any interventions. So here is the details of each treatments. The more the number of interventions, the higher climate smart agriculture practice it would be. So those includes intercultural operations, agronomic practices, and use of technologies. The more the number of interventions and technology, the advanced is the climate smart treatments. So meaning that the more the complex, more the number, and more the technologies, more advanced is the climate smart agriculture. Agriculture that is high or medium, and these have less number of technologies and interventions. So as I have already mentioned that grain yield is the response variable. So we analyzed our data on R Studio using Agriculture package. First of all, we made a test for analysis of variance for split plot design, location as a main factor, and treatment and ER as sub factors. And the and after we get the significant results for we later conducted least significant difference test for mean comparison. Before making an statistical test, we made a quick visualization of our data where we clearly see that three different locations have substantial variability in the yield, giving the sense that Baki has higher yield in both the years, while other two locations have similar kind of grain yield. Here is the comprehensive figure for location, year, and treatment. Based on this quick visualization, we developed a model. Our first test was analysis of variance. In this ANOVA table, we clearly see that a location has significant effect on grain yield. Similarly, treatment also has a significant effect. And we clearly see that treatment has interaction effect with other factors, while there is no significant effect on grain yield due to year. And it makes a good sense that to have similar kind of grain yield in two different years. So if it was the case of 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, we would have seen a difference in yield, but this is two consecutive years. In two consecutive years, it is very justifiable and it is very sensible that we obtained similar kind of grain yield, meaning that external climate factors, external environment was similar over the 2 years. And since climate change is a gradual process, long-term phenomena, we don't see such a sudden difference in two consecutive years, making strengthening our model as well, strengthening our treatment as well. It means that our treatments were less affected by climatic factors, climatic parameters. Moving into the mean comparison test by location, in this figure, we see that Bake has higher amount of yield that is in western part of the country. Central part of the country, Rupande has a significant difference in grain yield from Bake, and the eastern part has the lowest yield. So the grain yield also clearly show that the grain yield of wheat is biased towards the western Nepal. And this makes a good sense. So in Bake, in early vegetative phase, the climate is cool, and in late vegetative phase or the reproductive phase, the climate is warm and dry, and it also receives some sorts of rainfall in winter. The western part receives rainfall. That makes this belt, western Nepal, the ideal belt for wheat production. And as we move from west to east, the grain has declined, showing east-west variability in climate during wheat growing season. Talking about the mean comparison test of due to treatments, climate smart agriculture high and medium, these two treatments are significantly different from other groups of treatments. So these two treatments gives higher amount of grain yield than other less advanced practices or the control practices. But climate smart agriculture medium and high, these two are not significantly different from one another, meaning that either of these treatments are equally good equally good, producing higher amount of yield. Therefore, any of these treatments can be implemented based on cost effectiveness, complexity, and other factors. So either of these treatments are better interventions. Further, we also compared the increment in the grain yield due to other treatments over the control practices. By what percentage the other advanced climate smart practices gives better performance as compared to no interventions. And there is gradual increment in the grain yield as the technological advancement clearly observed that climate smart agriculture medium produce 46.5% additional wheat than the control practice. Similarly, climate smart agriculture high gives 43.8% higher grain yield than that of control practices, meaning that it is very valid, it is very sensible to implement these technologies in wheat producing belt in Nepal that gives higher profitability and higher return. In summary, we can conclude that there is significant variability in wheat yield due to location, showing higher production in western Nepal and gradual decrease in wheat yield as we move from west to east. And across all the location, climate smart agriculture high and medium are proved to be the efficient interventions. Similarly, the current study also revealed that an incorporation of climate smart intervention is beneficial in improving wheat grain yield in Nepal. So regarding the adaptation of the technologies, further studies on their cost effectiveness and practicability are yet to be done. After further studies, these can be tested at farmers level. Thank you, everyone. Unfortunately, being virtual, I'm not able to take your queries at present. However, if you have further interest, any queries, comments, you can email me. I'll try to address them at my best. Thank you so much.